Shortly after our arrival in this unfamiliar place, we received the thrilling yet daunting news that we were expecting our first child. The excitement was palpable, but so was the anxiety. We had settled into a new home, in a new town, and in a new country, with a network of friends and family yet to be established. Finding support in this uncharted territory felt like a daunting challenge. On the upside, my search for employment had yet to yield results, which meant I could focus on preparing for our little one. This unexpected twist allowed me to take on a more active role in our family's early days. My wife, thankfully, worked for a company that championed family values and assured us that her position would remain secure during this transitional period. With the financial cushion provided by my redundancy package, we were relieved of monetary concerns, allowing us to immerse ourselves in preparations for our new arrival. Despite our efforts to get ready, both of us being only children meant we were navigating this journey with little first-hand experience. As the weeks rolled on, the initial ease of pregnancy began to shift. I noticed a growing itch on my chest, a minor annoyance that quickly escalated into a source of concern. My skin showed no signs of rash, save for the redness that marked where my fingers had scratched. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, and as I pondered the changes happening around us, I realized that the journey into parenthood was going to be filled with unexpected twists, both joyful and perplexing. I brought my concerns to Paula, who had also noticed the significant swelling around my nipple area. The sight of it was alarming, especially considering my family history. My mother had battled breast cancer, and I knew it wasn't unheard of for men to face similar issues. With this in mind, we decided it was best to consult a doctor. We hadn't registered with anyone locally yet, but fortunately, Paula had been seeing a doctor through her workplace for her pregnancy, so we arranged to see him. When we met with the doctor, I was bracing myself for the worst, but the prognosis was surprisingly reassuring. He informed us that there was no evidence of any cancerous growth, which lifted a significant weight off my shoulders. However, he did mention a condition I had never heard of before: latent gynecomastia. He explained that some men have a genetic predisposition to develop breast tissue, and while he couldn't pinpoint exactly what had triggered it in my case, he speculated that the hormonal changes associated with Paula's pregnancy might have played a role. While I was relieved to hear it wasn't cancer, I couldn't help but feel a bit unsettled by the diagnosis. To address the swelling, the doctor prescribed a cream that I was to apply to the affected area each night before bed. He expressed hope that this treatment would help alleviate the growth. As I left the office, I felt a mix of relief and confusion, grappling with the unexpected nature of this new chapter in my life, both as a soon-to-be father and now as someone navigating unfamiliar health concerns. Month 3. As the weeks went by, life settled into a new rhythm for us. The routine of applying the cream became second nature. While it wasn't a hassle, the tingling sensation it left behind was a constant reminder of my condition. Whenever I ran out, getting a repeat prescription was straightforward, which was a relief. However, despite my diligent application of the cream, the swelling around my nipple area persisted and, in fact, seemed to be growing. Thankfully, when I was dressed, it wasn't noticeable, so it didn't interfere too much with my daily life. Alongside this, I noticed 2 other changes. The cream appeared to have an unexpected side effect. It seemed to reduce hair growth on my chest. I found that when I scratched or rubbed the area, the hair would come away easily. I wasn't overly concerned about this. After all, hair does grow back. The other change was that the swelling made my nipples much more sensitive. While it wasn't a major issue, the discomfort was hard to ignore. Month 4. As the swelling continued to progress, Paula and I decided it was time to return to the doctor for another checkup. He reaffirmed his previous diagnosis and prescribed a new cream, stating it was a stronger dosage than before. I followed the instructions carefully, applying it as directed, but the irritation was becoming increasingly unbearable. The tingling had escalated to a persistent itch, making it hard to concentrate on anything else. I felt a mix of frustration and concern. The initial relief of knowing it wasn't cancer was fading as the discomfort grew. I shared my worries with Paula, who was supportive and encouraging, reminding me that we were in this together. We both hoped that this new cream would finally provide some relief and help reduce the swelling. In the meantime, I tried to focus on the positive aspects of our lives. Paula's pregnancy was progressing well, and we were excitedly preparing for the arrival of our baby. Still, I couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something wasn't quite right with my body. Couldn't help but smile at Paula's thoughtful gesture. The silk camisoles were indeed a bit unconventional for me, but I appreciated her effort to find a solution that would help alleviate the irritation I was experiencing. The smooth fabric felt luxurious against my skin, and as I moved around, I noticed that it didn't cling or rub in the same way my regular shirts did. Honestly, this is a game changer, I admitted, looking in the mirror. The camisole was fitted but not overly tight, and it provided a layer of comfort that I hadn't realized I needed. I didn't think I'd ever be wearing something like this, but it really does feel nice. Paula beamed at my reaction. I knew you'd like it. Sometimes you just have to step outside your comfort zone a little. Plus, it's nice to have something that feels good against your skin while you're dealing with all this. I nodded, appreciating her support. I guess it's all about finding ways to cope, right? I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner. Exactly. And who knows, it might even become your new favorite thing, she teased, playfully nudging me. I mean, you have 3 of them now. We both laughed, and I felt a wave of relief wash over me. The irritation had been a constant source of discomfort, and while the camisoles wouldn't solve the underlying issue, they certainly made it easier to manage day to day. Thanks for always having my back, I said, pulling her into a hug. I really appreciate it. Always, she replied, squeezing me tightly. Now let's see if we can get you some more outfits that work with these. I think it's time to embrace this new wardrobe. As we browsed online together later that evening, I felt a renewed sense of optimism. Maybe this was just another chapter in our lives, one that would teach us both about adaptability and support in the face of unexpected challenges. The swelling and sensitivity was still there, but with Paula by my side and a little creativity, I was ready to face whatever came next. As the days turned into weeks, I found myself grappling with the physical changes happening to my body. The camisoles and matching briefs had become a surprising source of comfort, a small refuge in a time when everything felt out of control. I appreciated Paula's unwavering support, and the nightly ritual of applying cream to each other had become a bonding experience, a way to connect amidst the chaos of pregnancy. But as my swelling continued to increase, I couldn't shake the discomfort that came with it. I had always been relatively fit and confident, and now I felt like a stranger in my own skin. The doctor's office had become a familiar place, and each visit brought a mix of hope and frustration. Maybe we should consider a different approach, I suggested to Paula one evening after another appointment. The doctor seems to think this is just part of the process, but I can't help but feel overwhelmed. Paula nodded, her expression serious. I get it. It's hard to see your body change so drastically, especially when it feels beyond your control. But I want you to know that I'm here for you, no matter what. We'll figure this out together. Her words were comforting, but I still felt a knot of anxiety in my stomach. I just don't want to feel like this anymore. I thought the cream would help, but it seems like it's only making things worse. Maybe we should look into other options, she suggested gently. There are support groups and forums online. It might help to talk to others who are going through similar experiences. You're not alone in this. I considered her suggestion. I had been so focused on my own discomfort that I hadn't thought about reaching out to others. It could be helpful to hear how other people coped with their own changes, and maybe even find some strategies that worked for them. Okay, let's do that, I agreed. I'll look into some routes tonight, and maybe we can keep experimenting with different creams or remedies until we find something that works. Paula smiled, her eyes brightening. That sounds like a plan. And remember, you're still you, no matter what your body looks like. I love you for who you are, not how you look. Her words were a balm to my frayed nerves. As we settled in for the night, I felt a renewed sense of determination. It was time to take control of my situation, to seek out support and solutions, and to remember that we were in this together. With Paula by my side, I knew I could face whatever challenges lay ahead, one step at a time. I looked at her, a mix of curiosity and apprehension swirling inside me. "What do you mean, Paula?" I asked, trying to gauge where this conversation was headed. She smiled softly, her eyes sparkling with a hint of mischief. "I think it's time we had a little talk about embracing your new body. You've been going through a lot of changes, and I want you to feel confident and comfortable with them." I felt a blush creep up my cheeks. "Okay, I'm listening," I replied, trying to keep my tone light, though my heart raced a little. "First off, I want you to know that this is perfectly normal for some people during pregnancy. Your body is responding to the hormones, and while it might feel strange, it's just a part of the journey. I think it's important to celebrate these changes rather than hide from them," she explained. I nodded, absorbing her words. I guess I've been feeling a bit self-conscious about it all. It's hard to adjust to something so different, especially when it's so visible. Paula reached out and took my hand, squeezing it gently. "I completely understand. But you know what? You're beautiful, and I want you to see yourself the way I see you. We can have a little fun with this. How about we go shopping together? We can find some cute outfits that highlight your new shape." "Shopping?" I echoed, my apprehension mingling with a hint of excitement. "You mean for bras and stuff?" "Exactly. And maybe some tops that show off your figure a bit more. It's about feeling good in your skin. Plus, I'll be right there with you, so it'll be fun," she said, her enthusiasm infectious. I couldn't help but smile at her excitement. "All right, let's do it. I suppose it would be nice to have some clothes that fit better." "Great. And remember, this is about you feeling empowered. You're not just going through a physical change, you're embracing a new part of yourself. Let's celebrate that." As we planned our shopping trip, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. Paula's support was unwavering, and her encouragement helped me see my situation in a new light. I was still me, just with a different body, and that didn't have to be a negative thing. The next day, we headed out to the mall, and I felt a mix of nerves and excitement. As we browsed through stores, Paula helped me pick out various tops and bras, each one designed to provide support while also being stylish. With every piece I tried on, I felt a little more confident, a little more like myself again. "See, you look amazing in that," Paula exclaimed as I stepped out of the fitting room in a fitted top that hugged my new curves. I couldn't help but smile at her enthusiasm. "Maybe this isn't so bad after all," I admitted, turning to check my reflection. The support of the new bra made a world of difference, and I found myself appreciating the way the outfit accentuated my figure. By the time we left the mall, I had a small collection of new clothes that made me feel good about myself. Paula's encouragement had helped me shift my perspective, and I felt ready to embrace this new chapter in my life with open arms. As we headed home, I realized that I wasn't just preparing for the arrival of our baby, I was also learning to love and accept the changes happening within me. And with Paula by my side, I knew I could navigate whatever came next. I found myself needing to upgrade to something with more support and coverage, which felt like another step in this strange journey. Paula was supportive, of course, but I couldn't shake the feeling of vulnerability that came with these changes. "Let's go shopping again," Paula suggested one evening as we sat on the couch. I hesitated, feeling a mix of anxiety and reluctance. "I don't know, Paula. I'm still getting used to all of this. What if people notice?" "Trust me, darling. The right fit will make a world of difference. Plus, you deserve to feel comfortable and confident," she reassured me, her voice soothing. "We can find styles that work for you, and I'll be right there with you." After a bit of back and forth, I agreed. The next day, we ventured out to a store that specialized in lingerie and comfortable clothing. As we browsed, Paula helped me pick out several bras that promised both support and a more flattering shape. I tried on a few options, and to my surprise, I felt a little thrill when I found one that felt just right. The way it hugged my body and provided support made me feel a sense of relief. "See, you look great," Paula said enthusiastically as I emerged from the fitting room. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and for the first time, I didn't mind what I saw. The bra enhanced my shape without making me feel overly exposed. "Okay, maybe this isn't so bad," I admitted, a tentative smile creeping onto my face. As we continued shopping, I picked out some looser tops that I felt more comfortable in, ones that would help me ease into this new reality. Paula encouraged me to experiment with different styles, and I found myself enjoying the process more than I expected. By the time we left the store, I had a small collection of new bras and clothes that made me feel more at ease with my body. As we walked back to the car, I felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. "Thank you for pushing me to do this," I said to Paula, feeling grateful for her support. "I think I'm starting to feel more like myself again." "You're welcome. Remember, it's all about embracing who you are now," she replied, beaming at me. "And you're beautiful just the way you are." As the weeks rolled on, I gradually became more comfortable with my body and the changes it was undergoing. I started wearing my new bras more often, even when I ventured outside. The support they provided made a significant difference, and I found myself less focused on the fact that I was developing breasts. Month 8 came with its own set of challenges, but I felt more equipped to handle them. The discomfort I initially felt was becoming manageable, and I was learning to appreciate the softer side of myself. Paula remained my biggest cheerleader, always reminding me of the beauty in change and the importance of self-acceptance. One evening, as we cuddled on the couch, I reflected on how far I had come since that first bra fitting. I think I'm finally starting to embrace this," I told her, feeling a sense of peace wash over me. "That's wonderful to hear," Paula replied, wrapping her arms around me. "You're not just growing physically, you're growing emotionally, and that's something to celebrate." As I settled into her embrace, I realized that this journey was about more than just my body. It was about finding strength in vulnerability and discovering a new sense of self. With Paula by my side, I felt ready to face whatever came next. As I pulled them up, I felt a rush of excitement mixed with apprehension. The fabric was soft against my skin, and I couldn't help but admire how they hugged my body. Next, I reached for the matching bra. It was delicate, with intricate lace detailing that felt foreign yet thrilling. I took a deep breath, reminding myself that this was just for fun, just a playful experiment between Paula and me. I slipped the bra on, adjusting the straps until it felt secure. The sensation was surprisingly pleasant, and I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. The combination of the satin and lace, along with the way the bra accentuated my shape, made me feel a bit daring. I smiled at my reflection, feeling a mix of vulnerability and empowerment. With a flutter of nerves, I picked up the nightdress. It was a beautiful shade of pink, flowing and soft. I slipped it over my head and let it cascade down my body. The fabric glided against my skin, and I felt a sense of comfort and allure. I couldn't deny that I looked good. I took a moment to admire myself in the mirror. The reflection staring back at me was a blend of the familiar and the new. It was a side of me I hadn't fully embraced yet, but there was something liberating about it. "Okay, Sam, let's see how this goes," I thought to myself as I walked back into the living room, feeling a little shy but also excited to show Paula. As I stepped into the room, Paula looked up from where she was stirring something on the stove. Her eyes widened, and a grin spread across her face. "Wow, you look incredible," she exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. "Really, you think so?" I asked, feeling a blush creep up my cheeks. "Absolutely. The color suits you perfectly, and that nightdress is just beautiful," she said, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "Come here, let me see you twirl." I hesitated for a moment, but the way she looked at me, filled with warmth and affection, encouraged me to let go of my reservations. I twirled, the fabric of the nightdress flowing around me. Paula clapped her hands, laughing with delight. "You're a natural. I knew you'd pull it off," she said, stepping closer to admire the look. "You have such a lovely figure, and the way you're wearing that is just perfect." "Thanks. I guess I'm getting used to this whole thing," I replied, feeling a little more confident with each passing moment. "Good, because I think it's time you embrace this side of yourself more. You deserve to feel beautiful, inside and out," she said, her voice sincere. Dinner was ready, and as we sat down to eat, I felt a sense of camaraderie between us. It was as if this playful moment had brought us even closer together. We shared laughter and stories, and I found myself more at ease than I had been in weeks. After dinner, we moved to the couch, and Paula wrapped her arms around me, pulling me close. "I love seeing you like this," she murmured, her breath warm against my ear. "It's just so you." As I snuggled into her embrace, I realized that this journey was about more than just the physical changes I was experiencing. It was about acceptance, love, and finding joy in the unexpected. With Paula by my side, I felt ready to explore this new chapter of my life, one playful moment at a time. "Maybe I'll wear this more often," I said, glancing down at a satin and lace. "I hope you do," Paula replied, her smile radiant. "You deserve to feel fabulous every day." And in that moment, I knew I was starting to embrace not just the changes in my body, but the changes in my heart as well. As I brushed my teeth, I couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and nervousness. The nightdress felt foreign yet exhilarating against my skin, a reminder of how quickly things had changed in our dynamic. I caught a glimpse of myself in the bathroom mirror, the soft pink fabric contrasting with my usual attire. I felt a thrill at the thought of embracing this new side of myself, even if it was just for Paula. Once I finished, I walked back into the bedroom, my heart racing a little. Paula was propped up on her elbows, a playful smile on her face as she took me in. "See, you look amazing," she said, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "The nightdress really suits you." "Thanks," I said, feeling a blush creeping onto my cheeks. "I'm still getting used to it all." "Well, you're doing great," she replied, her voice warm and encouraging. "Just be yourself. That's what I love about you." Slid back under the covers, the fabric of the nightdress whispering against the sheets. Paula moved closer, her fingers trailing along the ribbons of the nightdress, sending shivers down my spine. "I love how you look in this," she murmured, leaning in to plant soft kisses along my collarbone. Her touch was electric, and I felt a rush of warmth spread through me. I had never thought I would feel so comfortable wearing something so delicate, but with Paula, it felt right. I returned her kisses, deepening the connection between us as our bodies melded together. "Let's take our time tonight," she suggested, her voice low and sultry. "I want to explore this side of you, to really enjoy it." I nodded, feeling a thrill at the idea. The night was still young, and I was ready to embrace every moment. We kissed slowly, savoring the intimacy that surrounded us. Paula's hands roamed my body, exploring the new curves and shapes that the lingerie accentuated. As we lost ourselves in each other, I realized that this experience was more than just trying on new clothes. It was about vulnerability, trust, and the deepening of our bond. I felt liberated, shedding old insecurities and embracing this new expression of myself. With each kiss, each caress, I felt more at home in my own skin. The nightdress became a symbol of our connection, a reminder that love could thrive in the most unexpected places. We laughed, whispered sweet nothings, and let the world outside fade away, lost in our little bubble of joy and passion. Eventually, as we settled into a comfortable embrace, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I had ventured into uncharted territory, and with Paula by my side, I knew I was exactly where I was meant to be. "Thank you for encouraging me to try this," I whispered, my head resting against her shoulder. "Always," she replied, kissing the top of my head. "I love seeing you embrace who you are. It makes me love you even more." As I drifted off to sleep, wrapped in her arms and the soft fabric of the nightdress, I knew that this was just the beginning of a beautiful journey of self-discovery and love. I stood in front of the mirror, taking in the reflection of my transformed self. The smoothness of my legs and the absence of hair in places I had always taken for granted felt strangely liberating. I had never imagined I would take this step, but the desire to meet Paula's unspoken expectations pushed me forward. I felt a mix of vulnerability and empowerment, knowing I was embracing a new aspect of myself. After getting dressed in my usual clothes, I caught a glimpse of the nightdress hanging on the back of the door. It seemed to call out to me, a reminder of the intimate moments we had shared. I decided to wear it again, feeling a blend of excitement and nervousness. Slipping it over my head, the soft fabric caressed my skin, and I couldn't help but smile. When I walked into the kitchen, I found Paula sipping her coffee, her eyes lighting up when she saw me. "Wow, you look amazing," she exclaimed, her voice filled with genuine delight. Did you? She gestured toward my legs, her expression a mix of surprise and approval. I did, I replied, a bit shyly. I thought it might be nice. Paula stood up and walked over, running her fingers along my smooth legs. You really didn't have to, but I'm so glad you did. You look even cuter. Her eyes sparkled with affection, and I felt a wave of warmth wash over me. As we shared breakfast, I felt more at ease. The morning light streamed through the window, illuminating our cozy kitchen and filling the space with a sense of comfort. We chatted about our plans for the day, and I found myself opening up more about my feelings regarding the changes I was experiencing. I know this is all a bit strange, I said, hesitating for a moment, but I want to embrace it for us. Paula reached across the table, taking my hand in hers. It's not strange at all. I love that you were exploring this side of yourself. It makes me love you even more. Her words were like a balm, soothing any lingering doubts I had. I realized that this journey was not just about the physical changes, but about deepening our connection and understanding each other on a different level. After breakfast, I decided to tackle the day with a renewed sense of confidence. I was still me, but I was also evolving, and I was grateful to have Paula by my side. As I went about my day, I felt lighter, more in tune with myself, and excited about what the future held for both of us. That evening, as we settled in for a quiet night together, I knew I had taken a significant step in my journey. The night dress and the changes I had made were just the beginning, and with Paula's support, I felt ready to embrace whatever came next. Can we try something different tonight? I asked, my heart racing a little. Of course, what do you have in mind? Paula replied, her curiosity peaked. Maybe we could explore more of this together, I suggested, feeling a thrill at the thought. Paula's face lit up with excitement. I'd love that. Let's see where this takes us. As we cuddled up together, I felt a sense of anticipation for the journey ahead, knowing that we would navigate it hand in hand, embracing every twist and turn along the way. As I sipped my coffee, the idea began to take shape in my mind. I could feel the excitement bubbling up inside me. I had always admired Paula's sense of style and the way she expressed herself through her clothing. What if I could explore that side of myself a bit more? Maybe I could surprise her when she got home. After finishing my breakfast, I decided to rummage through Paula's closet. I had seen some of her outfits that I thought would look amazing on me. I felt a mix of nervousness and exhilaration at the thought of wearing something more daring than just my usual nightwear. I picked out a flowy sundress that I knew she loved, with a floral pattern that was both vibrant and feminine. I slipped into the dress, and as I looked in the mirror, I felt a rush of confidence. The fabric hugged my body in all the right places, and the hem swayed gently around my knees. I paired it with a light cardigan and some cute sandals I found tucked away in the closet. I couldn't help but twirl in front of the mirror, feeling a sense of joy and liberation. Next, I decided to add a touch of makeup. I had watched Paula apply hers countless times, so I carefully selected a light foundation, some mascara, and a hint of lip gloss. The transformation was subtle, but made me feel even more connected to this new version of myself. I admired my reflection, feeling a sense of pride and excitement. With the outfit complete, I wanted to add one last touch. I found a pair of earrings that Paula rarely wore and delicately clipped them onto my ears. They dangled gently, catching the light as I moved. I was ready for her to come home. As the day went on, I busied myself with household chores, all while feeling the fabric of the dress against my skin. It was a strange but wonderful sensation, and I found myself smiling more than I had in a long time. I felt like I was stepping into a new chapter of my life, one where I could embrace both my femininity and my identity. When Paula finally walked through the door, I was waiting for her in the living room. The moment she saw me, her eyes widened in surprise, and a smile broke across her face. "Oh my goodness, you look incredible," she exclaimed, rushing over to me. "Really?" I asked, feeling a mix of vulnerability and excitement. "Yes, you look so beautiful," she said, reaching out to touch the fabric of the dress. "I'm so proud of you for exploring this side of yourself." Her words filled me with warmth. We spent the evening together, and Paula helped me with my hair, styling it in a way that framed my face beautifully. We talked and laughed, sharing stories and dreams, and I felt more connected to her than ever. As the night wore on, I realized that this was more than just an experiment. It was a celebration of who I was becoming. With Paula by my side, I felt empowered to explore my identity, knowing that I had her unwavering support. As we settled in for the night, I couldn't help but think about the journey ahead. I was ready to embrace it all, and I knew that with Paula, I could face anything that came my way. As I heard the door click shut behind Paula, I felt a wave of relief wash over me, but it was quickly followed by a tinge of regret. I had been so caught up in the moment, experiencing the thrill of trying on her clothes, that I hadn't considered the possibility of being caught. Now, sitting in my own clothes, I felt a sense of loss for the excitement I had just experienced. When Paula returned later that evening, I could sense the atmosphere was different. She entered the room with a smile, but it faded slightly as she noticed my change in attire. "Hey," she said softly, "I was hoping to see you in that outfit again. I didn't want to make things awkward," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. "I thought it was a silly idea." "Not at all," she reassured me, walking closer. "It's not silly to explore how you feel. I actually think it's wonderful that you're open to trying new things." She paused, her eyes searching mine. "I want you to feel comfortable expressing yourself, whatever that looks like." Her words warmed me, and I felt a flicker of courage reignite within me. "You really mean that?" I asked, hoping to gauge her sincerity. "Absolutely," she said, nodding firmly. "We're a team, and I want us both to be happy and true to ourselves. If that means you want to wear a skirt and blouse, then I'm here for it." Feeling a rush of encouragement, I hesitated for a moment before asking, "Would you help me pick out something to wear?" "I'd love your opinion." Paula's face lit up, and she clapped her hands together excitedly. "Of course. Let's have some fun with this. I have some ideas." She led me back to her wardrobe, and together we started to sift through her collection of clothes. As we browsed, Paula shared her thoughts on different styles and colors, and I found myself becoming more adventurous. She picked out a few outfits for me to try on, and I felt a sense of joy as I slipped into each piece. With her guidance, I learned how to accessorize and pair items together, and I began to see myself in a new light. After a while, I stood in front of the mirror again, this time wearing a fitted top and a flowing skirt that swayed gently with my movements. I felt beautiful and confident, and Paula stood behind me, beaming with pride. "You look amazing," she exclaimed, wrapping her arms around me. "Thank you," I said, turning to face her. "I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me." "Always," she replied, her eyes sparkling. "I love seeing you embrace this side of yourself. It makes me happy to see you happy." As the evening wore on, we shared laughter and stories, and I felt a deepening connection with Paula. It was as if this experience had opened a new door in our relationship, allowing us to explore not just my identity, but also the strength of our bond. Later, as we settled down for the night, I felt a sense of peace. I knew that whatever the journey ahead held, I wouldn't have to face it alone. With Paula by my side, I felt empowered to explore the depths of my identity, and I was excited to see where it would lead us both. As the weekend approached, a mix of excitement and nervousness bubbled within me. The idea of stepping out in public, even just for a quick trip to the grocery store, felt both thrilling and daunting. I spent the days leading up to it in a haze of anticipation, my mind racing with possibilities. What if people noticed? What if I didn't pass? But then again, what if I did? On Friday night, Paula and I sat down to discuss our plan. We went over everything from makeup to outfit choices, and she encouraged me to embrace this new experience. "You're going to look amazing," she assured me, her confidence in me bolstering my own. "Just remember, it's all about having fun and being yourself." Saturday morning arrived, and I could hardly contain my excitement. Paula helped me pick out a cute, casual outfit, a flowing top that accentuated my curves, and a pair of fitted jeans that made me feel comfortable yet stylish. She guided me through applying makeup, teaching me how to enhance my features rather than mask them. It felt empowering to take this step with her by my side. As I looked in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. The reflection staring back was someone new, someone who felt more authentic. My heart raced with a mix of fear and exhilaration. "Are you ready?" Paula asked, her eyes sparkling with encouragement. I took a deep breath, nodded, and together we headed out. The moment we stepped outside was surreal. The world felt different, almost electric. I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me, but Paula's reassuring presence kept my nerves at bay. We walked into the grocery store, and I felt a rush of adrenaline. I was hyper-aware of every glance, every whisper, but as we moved through the aisles, I began to relax. Paula kept the conversation light, chatting about our favorite snacks and what we needed for dinner. Slowly, I started to forget my fears and just enjoy the experience. As we reached the checkout line, I felt a sense of accomplishment wash over me. I had done it. I had stepped out into the world as my true self, even if just for a little while. The cashier smiled at me, and I returned the smile, feeling a sense of connection. It was a simple interaction, but it meant the world to me. Once we were back in the car, I couldn't help but grin. "I can't believe we just did that," I exclaimed, my excitement bubbling over. Paula laughed, her eyes shining with pride. "You were fantastic. I knew you could do it." That evening, as we settled in on the couch, I reflected on the day. It had been a small step, but it felt monumental. I realized that this journey wasn't just about clothing or appearance. It was about self-discovery and acceptance. With Paula's unwavering support, I felt ready to embrace whatever came next. As we cuddled on the couch, I whispered, "Thank you for believing in me." Paula squeezed my hand gently. "Always. I'm here for you, no matter what. This is just the beginning." And in that moment, I knew I was exactly where I was meant to be.